should we take a little break? There's about 15 minutes left in the lecture, or should we keep going?
Do you guys need a break? It's 15
Keep going? Oh, okay, all right, okay. All right, so, so in the end, of course, Gabi goes back to Dot, and then they dance together, and it's a lot of fun, and the audience claps along, and so matriarchal power is reestablished. And you can say this Koreanized return to folk traditions and the more egalitarian spirit of the Madang extends to the reconciliation of the lovers as well. The confusion of the lovers follows the storyline of Shakespeare's play, with notable exceptions. One of which is that under the influence of the love juice, the men start jumping around like dogs, like puppies, and barking. And they return to this posture even after the restoration. Indeed, it's this posture that defines the restoration. Here, I'll just play this. So again, in between worlds, the men go around saying, "I'm your puppy," and then they start dancing around. Now they're back in the real world.
아직도 내리는지 남의 길인지 실감이 안 가오. 사랑에 홀린 건지 꿈에 홀린 건지. 네가 날 버리고 그럴 껐어. 그럴 리 없는 거지? 꿈에라도 그런 말 봐. You are my destiny.
From now on, I'm your puppy.
Don't change your mind. Change my mind? No, I have one. Only you.
So at Wellesley, which is a women's college, it was a standing ovation at this moment. But one of the things that I point out is that the spirit of the Madang stays with them, even as they return to the waking world. They're back in their normal clothing, but the gender hierarchy has been reversed. Now, with regard to the new form of consent among the lovers, a slight twist adds to the uncertainty of consent in the original play. Yohanja's audience is never shown an antidote being applied to any of the human lovers. So when they re-emerge paired up, the audience is simply to assume that some power, that is to use the language of the play, some animating force beyond perhaps even Dot herself has reconfigured and reanimated the love. The lover situation recalls even more than the situation of the lovers in the play, the idea behind Hippolytus' defense of the lovers in response to Theseus' speech on the imagination. So remember, Theseus doubts what he has seen. He thinks, oh, they're just fairy tales. And then Hippolytus says, but all the story of the night told over, and all their minds transfigured so together, more witnesseth than fancy's images, and grows to something of great constancy, but howsoever strange and admirable here means incredible, as difficult as it may be to believe, some real change has taken place. What I would like to point out is that, would you see that phrase, your minds transfigured so together, is really the idea of consent. Right? Consent, etymologically, of course, from Latin consentire, means to think or feel together. And so what matters at the end of this play is that now their minds have been they each give each other consent, though not logical consent. It's emotional, it's imaginative consent that they somehow embrace after their experience in the world of the Madang. Okay? So it's in this, now that they have re-emerged, they can experience that Badira, the event of love that Badira describes, except it is taking place not in a transcendent realm, but in this realm. And again, and this is something I keep emphasizing, what enables that consent is gender equality. And again, that's something that Yang Jung is deeply, aware of. And then finally now, nonetheless, to return to Ajumi, insofar as Dot's prank turns on the comic absurdity of Ajumi as a romantic partner for Kadi, it could be construed as elitist. One could say of Ajumi what Annabelle Patterson pointed out about Bottom and Titania a generation ago. Titania's abasement also involves status inversion in terms of social class, and thus may simply reinforce the necessity of class boundaries. Suffice it to say just two things here. One, the production emphasizes critical continuities between the spirit that Ajumi embodies and the spirit of the Tokebi, as ultimately realized in the book. And second, the production ends not with the lovers, but with Ajumi. Let's just take a look at this. The audience is into this, like, This cry of Shimbata is a cry of discovery that expresses wondrous joy and gratitude to both her grandmother, a matrilineal ancestral spirit, and the deities who have bestowed such overwhelming grace upon her. Hence, it is a cry of joy that can have deeply spiritual overtones. But once again, she receives her blessing from her grandmother, right? Which I think in this play is very important. This cry also reestablishes and partakes of the inclusive, communally animating spirit of the Madang. All participants of the eco continuum across class, gender, and species are eligible for and worthy of receiving equally precious blessings. In the theater, this ending is a magical moment, the culminating moment of the experience of Xinyang. At one of the productions, actually, that I attended here in Seoul, the audience, as they did at the Globe, they saw the Inzam first, and they started going, ah! So they were dizzy with excitement and anticipation. And then when she picks it up, they all started cheering. At Wellesley, they translated this as 1,000-year-old root of ginseng. And then when she picked it up and she said, Shimata, and I think they translated it as something like, glory be to God, or something like that. Other students who started crying. Yeah. Because there was something absolutely crucial to having Ajuni end this play, to make it more inclusive, and for that blessing to come from her grandmother. As if to say, even at this point in our history, we can somehow tap into that ancestral spirit, a matriarchal spirit, that is still present in the Madang, if we, as audience, consent to enter into that world with our open hearts. Right? And so people start crying at the end of this show. One might still conclude that Yohanja's Midsummer Night's Dream is an act of fictive nostalgia. I would suggest, however, that ultimately it does not matter decisively to the production and its reception, but the historical reality of the past is. The play is, after all, a dream, and the word Korean contains the multiple valences of the word in English as well. It can mean a vision experienced while sleeping, a fictional delusion, or a deep aspiration. In the end, the production does to Shakespeare what Goethe does to copy, put it through a dream transformation that retains the vitality of the original, but realigns its vision as a corrective. In this, the adaptation can be dismissed as being no more yielding than a dream, but it is also an expression of a profound cultural aspiration that, like the experience of the forest, can transform the reality we live in. Thank you for sitting through this and listening. So now we can take questions or comments. So we can turn on We'll take a little break and then we can come back. So if you want to come back for a discussion and questions, much more casual. We can